Hey, look at it. Look. Wow, we're recording a show. We last recorded a, year to date or state of the show and released it on New Year's Eve last year. So this is technically the first show. We're calling it the mid-year review, but we're just a little late with that as we frequently are. Um, so first, hello, Ralph.
Hello.
Welcome back. And
Thanks
we
for
have
not
a
kicking me out yet.
Yeah, we have a guest host sitting next to me here, who
Ooh,
I have no idea. Who are you again?
hi, my name's Kate.
Really? Kate?
Yeah.
Kate.
I'm the one that you said you wouldn't be a bridesmaid to.
Oh yeah. I would. Yeah. She sends this envelope. She sends this package. I open up. There's a gift bag and there's a card that says DJ on it. And I open up the envelope and the card, and there's a little label that says, "Will you be my bridesmaid?" And I said, "No, absolutely not.
I just
Absolutely not."
didn't want you to not find the label.
Yeah, she wanted me to put the label on a bottle of Malort or something, and
Champagne.
Oh God, we made it not even a minute in, and it's our first Malort reference.
yeah, Miller High Life. It's same thing. I was gonna get Miller High
I
Life
don't
actually.
think it is. One you can actually power your car off of. The other you can rehydrate yourself after a workout because it's basically water.
Wait, which one are you powering your
Which one
car
you're
off of?
powering cars?
What kind of car do you have?
Malort, baby, that thing's like diesel fuel for God's sakes.
Oh no! It's jet engines. It only powers jet engines. You got to get that straight.
So not no Teslas, no Cybertrucks.
No.
No.
Oh my God. Your trucks are like the ugliest car in the world. Prove me wrong.
No, I agree.
All right, we're just out on a roll here, and we're only like 3 minutes in. We see Cybertrucks, and my kids just point and laugh when they see them. And
Can we talk about Cybertrucks for a second? Because they don't necessarily serve a purpose, in my opinion. It's just like, hey, look at how much money I have, but
it's
you're never going to see me haul lumber or concrete or anything manly in this thing.
so one of my kids, who's I have twin 6-year-olds now, and one of them goes, "You know why that truck looks silly?" I said, "Why is that?" And he goes, "The front of the truck looks like the back of a car." I'm like, "All right, fair, I get
Not wrong.
it." Do you see
I
the
had
story?
never thought of it that way.
Did the mind of a 6-year-old? Did you see the story about the Cybertruck and the little top piece that slides open into your cargo area or whatever it's called? And it was chewed through by a bunch of raccoons because the raccoons thought it was a dumpster. And it chewed through the back of it, thinking it was a dumpster, only to get inside and realize it's not a dumpster. There was nothing
That's kind of
inside.
like, that feels like a perfect metaphor for Twitter, too. Well,
You mean X, formerly.
I
The
never
artist formerly
calling
known as
that.
Twitter.
I'm never calling it that.
No.
So I did public address announcing this past weekend.
Oh, did you?
For my former institution of where I graduated with my master's. Um, and they had it on in my read, one of my reads, it's like follow us on X. And I very distinctly did follow us on Twitter at ODU Athletics. Like
Very nice. Very
instead of
nice.
the I'm like,
You
I am
show
not
them. And I and
I
I bet like 3 people noticed.
I noticed, and that's what mattered. I noticed, and I was happy that was my subtle way of sticking it to the man.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, um yeah, it's pretty brutal, and it makes you kind of think twice when you have a social media strategy that primarily revolves around one platform, and how quickly things will fall apart if something happens to that platform. We
The
had
amount, sorry,
we had
sorry,
so
I
much.
should have stuck my finger up there.
We had so much. At least Kate's not, flipping us off yet, so we're doing good.
Yes.
But we had so much traffic that we had driven over the years from Twitter, and just the controversial lightning rod it has become in the last, what, year and a half now, 2 years, whatever it is, year and a half, and with just everybody leaving and you having to pay to get your blue check mark, and it's just like that traffic just died. it died in a hurry, and it's just like diversify your social media strategy, people. Don't focus on one platform.
You know what terrifies me, and this was a thing that I dealt with at my old job. I changed careers since we last recorded a show. Isn't that weird? Um, but I worked in a school, and part of my job was to manage the social media strategy for the school. Well, Elon, as we know, kind of loosened the chains on content, and there was a lot of what we'll call corn, is what the kids call,
Oh, you
in
mean
reference to
adult
that
content?
adult content. And I was terrified anytime because I'm working in a high school with
Yeah,
kids and I'm
yeah.
like typing things out, and it would just be like there would be rear end, like just in my, not the kid's rear end. That sounds really bad out of
That
context,
sounds really, really
Yeah,
bad. I'm so
but
glad I took a drink of water as you were saying that. Thank
there
you.
would be like just random rear end, like, and or just things in my face. I don't want to. What's the rating we're
hey,
trying to go
so
for
now
today?
we know what Ralph has been up to.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't solicit it. I didn't
Oh, thanks for
solicit it. It
watching,
was just
everybody.
like
Thanks for watching.
it would be like just going to the grocery store. It'd be the equivalent of just going to the grocery store and it's just like boom, boobs, like or something like that. Like
Or
no,
walking into Jimmy John's at 3 in the morning one time in college, and walking around the blind corner of the store, and there'd be a woman standing there with her shirt lifted up, and I'm like, what?
I didn't ask for this.
I what did
I'm
this
concerned
actually
what
happened to
Jimmy
me?
John you guys are going
I
to.
it was 3 in the morning. It's the one right next to the bars. I was up working on senior design all night, and I wanted to go to Jimmy John's to get some food because it was 3 in the morning. I was starving, and it was closed.
DJ, there's only one right answer, but what is your go-to order at Jimmy John's?
Italian nightclub.
That a boy. That a boy. That a boy.
There was no hesitation there. That was just
Right off the that's the way. Slim Five if you need a snack, but Italian nightclub all the way through.
I've never really thought of Jimmy John's as a snack, but okay, yeah, Slim Five, sure.
Speaking of snacks, what's your guys' go-to stadium concession order?
Chicken tenders, no questions. Chicken tenders and
Uh,
fries. I will pay whatever amount of money that they want me to be at. Actually, no, I take that back. Anything over $13, I think probably is too much. But I will go to a stadium and sample the chicken tenders and the French fries.
I I a few years ago went to a Diamondbacks game, and they have like an all-you-can-eat seat, and it's like hot dogs and
You
popcorn
can
and
eat the
stuff.
seat.
Yes, all-you-can-eat seats. Yes,
Oh,
yeah, edible seats.
chocolate seats.
So they come out, and it's just they've got the hot dog. I don't know what supplier of hot dogs it is, but it's stadium hot dogs. And they just come out and they have the tray with they're all wrapped, and they just set it on a table, and I'm just like, all right, here we go. Let's see how many I can get to. I'm at like 3 or 4 before the first pitch. And I'm like, let's see how many hot dogs I can eat tonight before dropping dead. And I get to like hot dog number 5, and I finish it, and I'm just like, oh, I don't feel so good. This was a terrible, terrible mistake.
I'm slightly disappointed. I really thought you were gonna like hit double digits the way you were amping up that story.
I was like, I was going for double digit hot dogs, and like, this is like, I'm just like, tonight I'll bring out my inner Joey Chestnut.
Can we like pretend they were foot long hot dogs so you don't sound so
No,
excited?
no, it just, I was eating, I'm eating, and then just all of a sudden, this just hit this wall, and I was just like, oh, I don't feel so good.
As somebody who is openly will admit to taking like Ozempic and things like that, because I'm on that. The amount of stomach pain that I just felt when you said that you did 5 hot dogs, I
Before the
I
first pitch.
sympathize with you because my stomach is just now locked up, and I know what that sensation of nausea feels like with having too much to eat. But oh, you poor thing.
You know,
That's still a good value, but at what cost?
Uh, when I was younger, my metabolism was much faster. I went to a Pizza Hut buffet and ate 2 full pizzas all by myself in like 40
Oh yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
And I'm just like, all right, when's dessert? Let's go have some ice cream somewhere.
I I'm
Now it
sure you
gets
two are aware of this because you're a man and a woman about the streets. Tom Papa, who is
yeah.
a comedian,
Yep.
did a did a bit about hot dogs, and he said something to the effect of he saw a research report that said that every hot dog you eat, you take 30 seconds off of your life. So he said, I think I would rather do that than drool, have my mouth hanging open and drooling inside of a nursing home. So he's like, bring me more hot dogs.
So we have 2.5 minutes less of DJ.
You know what? I switched to the all kosher dog, so it's like maybe it's 15 seconds instead of 30 seconds. So Hebrew
Do you have a
National.
scientific study to back this up?
I do. It's called I Can Say Whatever I Want. You know, the internet way. You know, we don't need science.
Is that peer reviewed?
Abraham
Yes.
Lincoln will probably
Yes, by me.
Hey,
So
you asked the question, what
What-
is your go-to snack though? Or like,
I
what do
tend
you
to
have
go
to
with
get
a
it?
hot dog, but I do also like nachos. Like it
Ooh.
depends on the day.
A cheese on the nachos or a cup of cheese?
Cheese on. Like get the helmet that has it in it with the
Do you
jalapeno.
The
keep
helmet.
do you keep the helmet afterwards?
I try to get people to wear it, but you know.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, who doesn't? I've known to I will finish the nacho helmet and put it on my head. I mean, what else? You know,
What
a
else are you
helmet.
supposed to do with it?
Yeah, I don't want to carry it around. I'll just wear it on my head. Like I'll make sure I clean the cheese out of it. I'm not putting cheese in my hair, but
I thought it was your new
Oh,
styling gel.
yes, my new fake
oh
nacho
God.
cheese. That's
In the Arizona heat, that's just got to be terrible.
yeah,
That's got to
it's
smell terrible.
yeah, and we have plenty of it. So yeah, we're obliterating heat records right now. It's still like it was 115 over the weekend. We broke the record by like 7 degrees.
So, how do you go from an inferno to like what's the next level above inferno?
Uh,
It's like the 7 layers. So you're
Of a dip?
yes. So he's
refried beans is the next
fried
one.
beans. Next, he's going to the sour cream or whatever's next.
Oh, the sour cream's the relief. That's the
Yeah,
relief at
sour
that point.
sour cream at 120 degrees.
Wait,
Well,
what is the order of a 7-layer dip? Let's look that up because this is important to this
That's-
discussion.
Well, to deviate while we're researching, I don't know, speaking from the 2/3 of the Midwesterners on this podcast, we got all our grass back because our grass was burnt out here in Columbus from like 2.5 months of no rain. But Hurricane Helene decided to change that within
yeah, it's
the span of 4 days, and
So,
our grass is green again.
just so you know that it goes refried beans, guacamole, sour cream, salsa, grated cheese, black olives. So he's at refried beans, or is he starting at the top and going down? Because it gets hotter as you go to the core of the earth.
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't know. You're making me sick listening to that.
Can I tell you guys something? A hot take. Not a guacamole fan.
What?
I originally felt that way because I just like the look and texture of it just kind of grossed me out. And then I tried it and like, okay, this is good. Like, what am I
I
waiting?
mean, it's okay.
I was like,
How do you feel about avocado toast?
No,
Is it
no.
because you don't own a house?
I do not own a house. I do
because
not own a
what
house.
kind of millennial are you?
I'm a millennial in every sense of the word, with the exception of not owning a house.
So
Well,
once
actually,
we bought my house,
that goes for most millennials.
yeah,
Yeah,
we bought
I'm
the
in
house
debt
at, like,
up to my eyeballs, and I don't own a house.
Yeah, oh, life is fun, isn't it?
It's okay. When you got good people around you, like you find folks, it's fine.
Makes the drowning in debt part becomes secondary and ruining my credit score and debating
okay,
if I'll
so
ever
on a
retire.
positive note,
Yeah,
I mean, I even adopted a dog to help make some of the pain go away. So, I mean, it is what it
I've
is.
adopted two, and you could probably hear one in the background off and on.
yeah,
Yeah, he's chilling.
yeah, and the
He's
dogs
barking at the White Sox and how terrible they are at playing baseball.
But they had that campfire milkshake, which was pretty cool. Did you
Ooh,
see that?
No.
sounds good.
Yeah, that
That
they
was-
made this. It was like this campfire milkshake. It has like marshmallows in it. I'm like, okay,
the
that
White
looks good.
Sox?
Yeah, yeah. That was like they said that was the only
It's-
positive story that came out of the White Sox all year.
That might be the only major win that they've tallied this year.
Yeah, like they can't get people in for any other reason, so let's make a milkshake.
Uh,
Did you guys see too with the struggles of the Carolina Panthers? I think they were selling tickets somewhere in the neighborhood of like $3.
yeah,
So back
Until
when I was in college, you used to be able to go to Applebee's and get Brewers tickets with a purchase of a burger.
that sounds amazing.
So we would go to Applebee's and order burgers during like happy hour where they're less expensive and
Ooh,
then
look at you,
go to the
schemers.
Brewers game the next
So
weekend.
what was it like $7.50 to go to a Brewers game?
Yeah.
That's
and you
amazing.
Take the bus so you didn't have to pay for parking and most of us didn't have
Oh,
cars.
So,
was it Miller Park? Was it Miller Park still too?
Yes.
I'm sorry, American Family, whatever it's called now.
Whatever.
Miller Park?
Go to
American
stadiumscene.com for all that
or TV.
For the right
stadium
thing.
information. Yeah.
Yeah, so the there was a picture from the White Sox game the other night when they were going for their record loss, and there was a message on the scoreboard
When they were going for their record.
yeah, when they were going for their 121st loss, there was
Oh,
a
I thought
record.
you were like they were somehow getting negative points.
No, they are statistically the worst baseball team ever, officially, and sort of. Well, the 62 Mets actually had a lower winning percentage because they played fewer games, but the White Sox had more losses this year. So on that at that game, some guy did a scoreboard proposal and put like, "Will you marry me?" on the scoreboard, and like, boy, that doesn't say much about this guy that he's proposing to his girlfriend at a White Sox game as they're about to break the major league record for most losses in a season.
What
Yeah,
would have
there's
made that even better is if the crowd just erupted into a massive cheer like they just won the World Series, because
Or
that's
just
like
say
the major thing
no,
that they can cheer
say
for.
no.
Oh God.
oh, you're horrible, DJ.
It's yeah, that's become kind of the thing like that I've done before where I'm at a game and they do like a scoreboard proposal, and like I feel like I've seen this that half the time those aren't even real. They're like staged by the staff of the they work at like the two work for the ballpark and they're not actually doing that. But
You mean they're not real?
no, well, they're real people, but they're not really a couple.
It's real to me, damn it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll they'll put the proposal up and I'll just start saying, "Say no, don't do it."
So speaking of it's real to me, damn it. Has anybody watched the Vince McMahon documentary?
No, I canceled
No.
my Netflix account again.
Same.
Oh God. God. It's quite good. He's a piece of crap. I would use another word, but I want to keep it family friendly. He's a giant
Yeah,
piece
we're
of
trying to have a family friendly episode for one.
In recent years, we've kind of learned bits and pieces about that, and especially his relationship with Shane. And the thing is, like,
it's real life secession. It's like the real life version of secession.
yeah, and the thing too is like when I was when I was in middle school, that was like peak attitude era.
Mhm.
Middle school,
So,
early
like,
high school.
40 years ago?
Yes, over 20 years ago. Thank
Well,
you.
what did we establish that DJ was very, very old before
Yes.
we went on?
Yeah, because he was
on-
there for the first Thanksgiving.
There's my gray hair. So the peak attitude era, and you have like Shane McMahon coming on, who's pretty young at that point, and it's just most of the time it's like everybody hated him. They have the corporation and all that, and everyone hated Shane, and it's just like, you know what? Coming out of all this, Shane looks pretty darn good compared to the rest of them.
Yeah, it makes me wonder kind of what family events are like with those guys, because especially if you read the accusations, and they're out there. We're not one to mudsling necessarily, but if you read the accusations leveled against Vince McMahon, it's like, how do you look that guy in the face at Christmas or birthdays or anything like that and go, "Hey, Pops, how's it going?"
And Shane, his son is a college football player.
Yes, Declan McMahon. I think he was,
Indiana, last I heard.
and all Indiana is doing is just winning right now.
Wait till they get to the meat of the conference schedule. They'll do this from time to time. And I'm saying this completely biased.
They got that dude from James Madison as their head coach now. That dude is, he had that quote on College Game Day. He said, "All I do is win. Google me," or something like that.
That was DJ Khaled. All I do is win.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Another one.
All right. Anyway, we actually had an agenda, but we haven't really.
What's
Oh,
that?
is that the thing I didn't read?
Do you ever?
No.
No.
I did try to ask you for one, but then I stopped looking at my messages.
Yeah. It's like it was like working with Gilbert Gottfried on his show.
Hello there.
Yeah, he would
That
never.
was the worst impression
Thank you.
ever.
Actually, listen to him laugh. Well, listen to a clip of him laughing. It wasn't as bad as he thought. Oh, anyway. Yeah, with Gilbert would never prepare.
Live streaming.
Yeah, live streaming. Oh, how about that? So this year we went kind of all in on the live streaming. That was kind of the big piece of the puzzle this year, and it's going very well. We did our, now for this last, or I guess this year was the second year for the 24-hour long stream. Yeah, and balancing it's a terrible weekend to do that because it's my kid's birthday. So it's like I disappear to go to my kid's birthday party and do that stuff, and then come back in, and I'm like, all right, jump back on, and balancing that, and it's exhausting. It's an exhausting weekend, but it's just, you got the 24-hour Daytona race that it's been a lot of fun, and my kids are screaming in the background. This is great.
Hey, but you're being a good dad.
I mean,
my kids are screaming at each other, but you know what? The door's closed and locked. I'm safe in here for now.
The producers can't barge in today.
Nope. They will not be barging in today. I locked the door.
It's a good plan.
Yeah. Yep. The producer and then my boss, the general manager, she will not be barging in either. She'll end up banging on the door and then sending me, threatening text messages. But I'm kidding. It's a joke. You can calm down, people. Anyway, back to the live streaming. So we're pushing, I think we're going to finish the year with 60 live events this year.
Yeah.
And we had a racing series that we kind of messed around with a couple years ago, and that kind of took off on its own. And they're fielding 15, 20 drivers a week out there. And then we took on a second series this year on Tuesday nights. So we got Tuesday, Wednesday nights. The Tuesday we run 2 seasons of 10. The Wednesday is 3 seasons of 10. And then we throw in a couple of special events here and there. We do a monthly Saturday event. And we're very, very excited with how this is turning out. And I have to shout out to our partners on the video channel, like, Nick Zammit of the Daily Dribble. I told him, I said, look, the NBA season's over, go rest. And he's like, no, I got a lot of momentum here, I'm going. I'm like, all right, dude. All right. You keep going, we'll keep going and supporting you. And he's been rocking through the summer, and the NBA season's gonna be starting here in a couple weeks now, I think. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, WNBA wrapping up too right now.
WNBA's wrapping up, and the House of Hockey, which don't know if they'll be back this fall or not, but they've been a great partner, with Ray and having to fill in with guest hosts for several months. That was a big challenge, and they filled in on our Tuesday afternoon slot. And the Stranded in Pittsburgh, they wrapped up their show. Just some commitment issues with getting all the hosts together, which is obviously your biggest challenge, is when you have 2 or 3 people and trying to coordinate a time that 2 or 3 of you can record every week. You get into the habit where you record 1 episode a year.
Sounds familiar.
Sounds like we're all very.
I need some water. Lately. I need some water here. I'm choking on
the truth.
Choking on hard truths.
Yeah, choking on the truth there. Yeah. Anyway, But yeah, it's the big thing is there's a lot of esports out there where the channels are strictly esports, but there really aren't where they're mixing in sports talk with live esports. And we've seen in a small scale, we've seen a lot of success with that. And our our mission as we kind of give our mid-year review, a couple months late, is we're going to keep focusing on that. We're going to keep working on the live esports, and we'll have an announcement here in a couple minutes about that. So you got to stick around and listen to some more
Really?
rambling. Yeah. Oh, does Kate even know? No, she knows. We've been talking
It's
about this
almost like I
once.
read the script or agenda. Sorry.
Yes, you read the agenda. But
Yeah.
mixing in and it's like, okay, you build out a channel of esports, you're going to attract a certain audience, and you could be very successful off of your esports audience, but it's challenging to bring people into esports who are not already interested in esports. And there's a lot of people out there that feel, oh, esports, that's not a real sport. It's not basketball. It's not hockey. It's not football. Yeah, they don't see it for what it is. And it's,
According to the 2 books that you bought and sent to my house, they are real sports. They are legitimate.
you know what? As somebody who competes in a weekly esport event, and actually mostly 2 weekly esports events, it's an hour long. I come out of there after an hour. I am just like exhausted, like mentally exhausted. And I look at my heart rate monitor, and you're, especially when you get into these high speed tracks and it's very just intense focus. Yeah, I'm looking at my heart rate monitor. I'm pushing like 160, 170 sitting in a chair.
You probably need to get that checked out.
Yeah, that might be some low level tachycardia there, my bud.
Yeah, I don't
No,
think
I got a clean bill of health. I mean, I need to do some more cardio exercising, but it's just it's intense. Like there is an intense level of focus and mental energy that that what are we doing, the YMCA here?
Intense. I'm doing a triangle over my head.
Intense. I got it. I thought you were going
I was just doing random arm motions because Ralph was.
DJ just made it really quiet and really awkward all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
I just found a sticker on my desk and I need your opinion. Can I put this on my work water bottle for my day job?
Don't be a part of the problem. Be the whole problem. It's fair.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna go, you can't go half. You got to go all in. So
You
yeah,
can't half-ass it. You got a whole ass it.
correct. Whole ass everything.
That's going to be my new motto in life.
I'm not causing trouble. If I'm not causing a disturbance, what was it worth it?
Yeah. I mean, I have some other really good ones over here. Like this one's pretty good.
Be kind. Yeah.
One of the best ones I've saw that said "Make hummus, not hate."
Okay, I could go down for
That
that.
works.
That's a
Yeah.
platform
So
I can.
what-
That's a platform
so-
I can get behind.
So my kid, one of my kids on her water bottle is a sticker that says "Never give up," but she covered up the "never" part with another sticker on accident, so it just says "give up."
Any chance that's the water bottle I sent her with stickers?
It was. I think it was part of this. I think you sent the sticker pack that came in. But yes, she was like 3 when she put these on there, so it wasn't like doing anything deliberate. But yes, she put covered up the "never," so the sticker just says "give up."
That's her motto for her enemies when she sees them on the playground.
Just
Give up.
Give up. Don't
Give up.
even try. Just done. Anyway, so as we get back on track here, we're mixing in. We're gonna keep recruiting on the video front, and we've had some preliminary conversations with some advertisers. We hope we'll secure some interest. I think as we continue to expand and build out, we've got a nice small scale audience, but kind of building on that and building the audience as we build out more content. I think that's going to be a lot easier of a sell to the advertisers, and we turn into a profit sharing for the partners. Or we're not going to be making enough money that you can quit your job and make a weekly video podcast at this, maybe someday, but that's the goal is, there's incentive here because we're trying to hook you up with sponsors, get you that added attention for your channel and give you that extra distribution network working with us and pairing it up with our live esports. And, we're going to go from there. That's going to be a focus going into what year is it? 2020, going into
24.
2025.
We're going to 25. Yep.
I
Yep.
had to think about that. Wasn't 2020 last year? I feel like that was just last year.
Yes.
What a
Love
weird
the time
time
machine.
frame this is. I feel like
I-
all of our ages just froze. And then we just came out like I'm 34, but really in actuality, I feel like I'm still 31. Like I just feel like I
I,
was cryogenically frozen and
I,
just
I
none of
just
that
like
happened.
all those months in 2020, just sitting at home. It's like, okay, I get done and I just walk over and I sit on the bed and watch TV. And it's just like, that was last
What
week,
happened?
wasn't it? But
Well, on
anyway,
that note, you have an announcement.
I do have an announcement. So
That's why Kate keeps us on that.
she
I'm so
doesn't
glad
keep
she's
us,
here.
she doesn't keep us on track. Are you
No,
kidding
I
me?
don't.
What the
Are you
Sometimes
last
kidding
show
me?
when she wasn't here in January, we went like 90 minutes and like
we are
90
not doing
minutes.
90 minutes.
We're
I
not,
think
yeah, we're
we
not going 90 minutes. I will get yelled at if I go 90 minutes.
Hey, I'm in the future. You guys are in the time zone behind me, so you guys are fine still
I'm in
on
a
time.
couple time zones behind you, and RIP Arizona Coyotes, as you can see back behind me up there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Utah Hockey Club.
So the big announcement, you got a drum roll.
DJ bought the Arizona Coyotes.
I bought the rights to the Arizona Coyotes. No, and we will be airing games on
not
Stadium
listen to
CMT.
anything
No,
he's saying.
the stadium will be my backyard because hey, it can't be any worse than Mullet Arena, can it? No.
Heyo.
Oh no, and you know what? Mullet Arena was fine. Like it's obviously
Hashtag
not
forks up.
yeah, it's a nice facility. And I'm gonna go ahead and bag on Utah. It's like Utah. Let's see. You're moving to a smaller market, and oh, by the way, they only can seat like 10,000 people in their arena, and most of those can't even fully see the ice because of the way the building is structured. So,
Is that the Jazz Arena
yes,
too
the
that they're
Delta
playing in?
Center.
Okay.
So they are working on building a new arena for both the Utah Hockey Club, which will figure out a permanent name later
Hey,
because
can
of
we
how,
normalize that too, by the way? I really like Utah Hockey Club and like Washington football team did something for me back in the day.
I do like that. You know what, I think that keeping that in there, that does have a nice like simple feel to it. I mean, it's got to be
And I
better
know
than
everybody's
any.
like, yeah, their jerseys are plain Jane and stuff, but kind of like
Damn.
the simplicity a little bit.
So, I mean, we've seen NHL teams with complex jerseys over the years, and were pretty bad.
Columbus. What?
You said it, not me.
The reverse retros from 2 seasons ago that were like red, white, and like a hodgepodge just did not do anything for me.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, we live in a time where, like, especially you look at companies, they're simplifying their logos. They're not spelling out the name. They just put a letter out there. You look at like Pepsi, and they're simplifying. It's not a 3D; it's a flat logo. They've cut back on the number of colors. Yeah, the advertisers are realizing
Did you
people want
guys
simple.
did you see PayPal's logo where it was literally just a color it was just the color change of blue for and I think a typeface change, something like that. But it literally was just like, we're going to a slightly bluer shade of blue.
Oh my God.
It's like
Stark.
that meme about Japan changing the color of their flag, and it's like you have to like look really, really closely. Like, oh yeah, that red is slightly different. But
Well, that's even like when the Cleveland Browns changed their helmet and they were like, it's more of an aggressive orange. I'm like, what?
or
Like,
the Arizona
okay.
Cardinals changing their logo, where they just basically put a black outline around the bird. It's the difference.
It's an aggressive bird.
Yeah, it made it look more aggressive because it's like it's got the black outline around the red, not just
Why
this.
do we not have a Canadian goose football team? Because Canadian
Oh,
gooses
don't
are
even get me
super
started
mean.
on.
That's Kate's best friend. She loves Canadian geese.
Canadian
No.
geese are super mean and they're like
See,
super rugged
Hard.
and tenacious.
and when
I-
Kate would train for marathons, she would just go find some geese, throw a stick at it, and then take off running.
So
That's a
no
good plan.
joke, my day job had to close an entrance to the building because the goose kept chasing all the employees.
I think I remember that on our group text.
Yeah. Turns
I
So
out
would
the
like
geese
I would
was
have taken care
not
of it. Could you
Harley.
imagine if somebody got hurt and they had to fill out an injury report for somebody?
Workers' comp. How'd you die? Goose.
Attacked by a Canadian goose at the front entrance.
That may or may not have happened.
I'm on disability for 60 days. Why? Goose injury. I slipped on goose poop.
An accident report for the goose injuries.
You guys have seen Letterkenny, right? Where they had the have you guys ever seen Letterkenny?
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you got a problem with Canadian gooses, you got a problem with me. I suggest you let that one marinate.
We had an announcement to make.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's time for that.
We got distracted within 32 seconds.
All right,
I'm a bad influence on this show.
The announcement is
DJ sucks.
I'm gonna boot you out of here. No, the announcement is we are expanding on our live esports and are moving over and taking on Rocket League. Rocket League. Yeah, so
it's soccer. It's cars. It's soccer with cars.
Yeah, and the kids love it. So the one of the questions in doing our research for this is like, Rocket League's been around for a while. There's world championships, but the big question is, these kids, they want to be like, oh, I want to be a professional Rocket League player. I want to be in the Fortnite World Championships. And like, how do you do that? Do either of you know?
No.
Like every other
Nope.
youth sport and activity in this country, it takes
it's club sports. It's super expensive.
It's super expensive, and you got to know people. And what we're trying to do is that we're not going to guarantee you're going to become a world champion at Rocket League, but we're
are.
No, we're not. But we're trying to create a platform where you want to get in and play Rocket League and compete and get into that weekly competition. Maybe build up your gamer rep. Wow, that sounded very condescending.
You're a little gamer.
Hey, you little gamer tag.
Hey, little gamer boy in your basement.
I'm man. I just aged myself.
Meanwhile, I have a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox and a PC all within arm's reach of this desk right now.
You just say "Okay, boomer" to me right now.
Okay, boomer. Why don't you go play your Pokemans?
Your Pokemans. Did you know that if you say "Okay, boomer" to somebody at work, that could actually be seen as age discrimination under federal law?
Yes, I have seen that in the discrimination videos that I must watch yearly.
Yeah, can't do it. Discrimination, age discrimination. So anyway, we want to give a platform where you want to compete in Rocket League, you don't have an opportunity, or you don't live near an esports facility in your hometown, or you don't, there's not one anywhere near you. We're going to create a league. We're going to have teams in this league. We're going to have a regular season. We're going to have a playoff, probably a couple seasons a year, just to kind of space things out. And we're going to refine this model. We're going to build our own, basically sanction our own league in the process of it. We're going to broadcast these events, and we're going to work with some people. We've got 2 guys that we've recruited who will be doing our play-by-play broadcasting. One of the guys actually is very, very close in his skill level. He was very close to being able to turn pro in Rocket League. So we got the other guy is a play-by-play football announcer. And Kate left.
I didn't
under protest, I guess.
I turned off my video for a second.
Oh,
Kate wow. Rude. Well, rumor on the street is too. Questions from the media. The media.
You, sir. Yes.
Hi, Ralph Shadell with Stadium Scene. DJ, rumors. The internet is swirling right now. Did you actually get the Stanley Cup as the trophy for the Rocket League?
I cannot confirm or deny it, but I will deny it. Yes, we did not get the Stanley Cup. We do need to come up with a funny trophy. That would be awesome.
That's all I got for you.
Maybe we get Malort to sponsor and give the Malort Cup out.
On that note, the next thing on the agenda is General's Shenanigans.
That's what we've been doing for the first 90% of the show. Like, I
think shenanigans reporting.
So we can argue that we did the agenda just out of order.
Okay, so
Yeah,
have we
baby.
talked about Ralph having a camera?
What
Ralph
about
has a
me?
camera.
What?
Yeah.
I have
So
a camera.
Ralph, you've been you've switched careers, but you're still pretty big in the photography. You're still mulling around on the sidelines at is it called lower.com field still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll know
Yeah.
for how much longer that business is rumor on the street not doing so hot.
Which part? The lower.com.
Lower.com.
Oh, okay.
Lower.com. Crew are fine.
I was about to say,
Lower.com
wait a
not so
second.
fine.
There was that whole big shenanigans that
Crew are fine.
parlayed him in.
Austin FC on the other hand right now not having a great time. They're learning the hard lessons of what Columbus tried to warn them about.
I forgot they even existed, to be honest with you.
That's the problem. But
It's
yeah, so busy. I have switched into a new career where I'm taking photos and socializing, which is absolutely perfect for me. But I'm a government boy now, which is cool. But yeah, I ran into, it's funny, you guys will appreciate this. There's another young woman I work with she's a public information specialist, works for the Blue Jackets. So we kind of joke and we say that we have our secret lives together outside of government work, which is really cool. But I left the school that I used to work with. Um, not really amicably, I guess. It was more for self-preservation, I guess, but I needed a change. But
fair.
luckily I am all I just found out I got a season credential for the Blue Jackets, which I'm very interested to see
It's
writing and photo wise. I'm very interested to see what the year has for the Blue
that's
Jackets.
oh man, and it's just with Johnny Gaudreau's tragic and his brother's tragic death recently. Oh my god, I can't even imagine what's going on inside the walls of
Yeah,
that facility right
I think
now.
there's some interesting stories that are going to be told. I think whether that's with the fans in front of the fans on the ice and in the locker room. So I'll be in the locker room with the guys. I'll be taking photos, just kind of doing the whole thing. I'm excited. I felt kind of a calling after Johnny and Matthew's untimely passing. I went to the memorial and it was something. Like I can't quite say the emotions, but it was sad. It was um definitely it just felt weird because you got this larger than life guy, and it's weird to say because he was a smaller statured individual, but
Right.
this great personality suddenly gone. And I'm sure there's fans out there that can kind of feel like this, but it's interesting because Johnny chose us, and we're not the sexiest market out there. I know he probably got much more money offers from like New Jersey, probably the Rangers and stuff like that. And he looked at Columbus and was like, yeah, I can get behind this. It's a dumpster fire, but I can get behind this. Um, and I think immediately that's just how Ohio-based fans are, is that if you choose us, we'll support you 100%. And I think the team so far, early returns in the preseason, they're just having a great time in the preseason right now. They're winning. Got a 6-3 win against Buffalo the other night. I think it was like an 8-4 win against the Capitals in Washington. They had travel issues, much like many NHL clubs had with the hurricane this past weekend. But yeah, super excited to be back on the sidelines for that. Still doing crew. Crew are winning too much. It's like I've seemingly had no off season from that whatsoever.
Yeah, you're always doing something. It's like we don't hear
Yeah,
from you for extended periods of time because you got a lot of stuff on your plate. That's
yeah. Lionel Messi rolls into town on Wednesday, which I don't know when this show will go out, but as the time of the recording, it's 2 days before Lionel Messi rolls into town. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I'm not looking forward to it. It's going
that's
to
gonna
be
be a
amateur hour.
zoo.
It's going to be amateur hour. There's going to be a bunch of first-time credentialed people. Not that I don't want people to get out there and get experience and stuff. It's just
Right.
people are just going to be
All
out
right.
there, oh, Messi,
Repeat after
but
me.
yeah.
You turn to the photographer who's there for the first time and you say, listen, Junior, stay in your lane.
Mm. But I mean, it'll be fun. I had, I don't know if we talked about this on the last show, but might not have because it was probably a week after. But I was more excited to photograph Caitlin Clark for Iowa than I am actually for Messi. Like, I was more jazzed and more excited for Caitlin Clark. Messi, I'm just kind of like, I know it's going to be a zoo. I knew it was going to be a zoo for Caitlin Clark, but it's like I kind of wanted to be part of the zoo. And Caitlin Clark had kind of an aura around her too,
Yeah.
which
Oh
was
yeah.
really interesting. And it was super fun to watch her play in person, especially when she's 4 feet in front of you, crossing over people and just absolutely dogging people and making them look like fools. But
And we had
yeah,
the
so
WNBA All-Star game here in Phoenix this summer, and the amount of interest in that, I was looking to go and take the kids to that, and I looked to see what ticket prices were. I'm like, nope, nope, not happening.
I
It's
will
just,
say I will say this, not to cut you off, DJ, is, and this is something I kind of want to broadcast out to the masses. I've watched more WNBA this year with Caitlin Clark in the game or not than I have probably in my entire lifetime. I've found rooting interest. Like I've been a Liberty fan of sorts because of Sabrina Ionescu because of the Oregon ties. I root for Oregon too, but like I'm watching other games for players. Like I'm a big Vegas Aces fan because Asia Wilson's so dang fun to watch, and Kelsey Plum plays with such fire, and America's sweetheart, Kate Martin, who everybody loves from Iowa because she was like the best teammate ever and does like all of the fundamental stuff correctly. She's not going to score a million points,
oh,
but
and she was the one
she'll
who showed
she'll
up to
set
the
you a pick and
draft
roll.
not expecting to get picked. I thought, she was there
I
to
still
support
think
Caitlin.
I still think that was a setup or like a PR thing or something.
Yeah,
She's got
probably.
to know. I mean, she was so good, but like I'm watching a bunch of other teams. Cameron Brink's one I'm excited to see play out and see how she does. And the Connecticut Sun too. I mean, like holy smokes, man! Like this finals is going to be off the hook. I'm sad that the Liberty and the Aces will get knocked off and we don't get a rematch in the finals. But I'll tell you, whatever team comes out of there, I hope it's either the Aces or well, it's going to be the Aces or the Liberty. But
Yeah.
watching them probably play the Suns going to be pretty interesting. But Minnesota is pretty darn good too.
And we
But
also, another big story, especially from out here, is that the career of Diana Taurasi is probably over.
she's such a legend too, man.
Mm.
Like I remember I had
She's been around forever.
a huge crush on her when I was in high school. Like I was like,
She's
she
been
can
around
ball, she can do all
forever.
that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I remember I was a pup when she first got into the league, and now I'm old, and that means she's older than me, and you know,
She's older than me.
but
Not
but
by
what's that
much.
say to the like the health and the wellness of these athletes that you're seeing people play into their 40s? You've got Tom Brady played forever. You've got Diana Taurasi playing forever.
Yeah, she's
I'm trying to
42.
think of some. Yeah, and you see like soccer too. You're starting to get players play into their mid 30s, but that's, by the way, happy trails, Alex Morgan. I feel like she probably had a couple more
Ah,
good years ahead of her, but um, you know, you got
having
to
a
go do your
kid.
family stuff and, you can't really be mad about doing that necessarily, but the exciting, I mean, with Coach Hayes, Emma Hayes coming in and the youth movement going on there, holy smokes, the U.S. women's national team looks like world beaters right now. They look like they got their fight back a little bit there.
Well said. It's been a very positive step forward for women's sports in general in this country over the last year plus. I mean, it's funny. My kid, she's one of my kids has been picking up soccer lately, and there's like a kid, they're six, like they're first grade, and there's this kind of a, I'm gonna go ahead and say this jerk of a boy on the playground who said that girls don't play
He
soccer.
likes her already. I can tell you there's a crush
Yeah,
there already.
he said girls don't play
We're not
soccer
doing
to
that
her,
stereotype.
and and she told me that she was kind of upset by that comment, and I said, you know what you say to him, you go say to him that you walk up and you say 4-0, my friend. The women have won 4 World Cups in this country. The men have won 0. The men's team is traditionally been crap. So if you want to go with this girls don't play soccer crap, you can take it. And I didn't say that part of that. That would probably be their
That is a
first
good
grader.
response.
That probably. I mean, that sounds like something I'd say, but
You
no,
probably didn't. half of those words.
I said it in a nicer way that is first grade, somewhat appropriate.
Yeah.
And I said, look, don't put up with this crap. This girls don't play soccer. That's just a load of crap. And you don't have to put up with it. On
Wow.
that
You know
on
what?
that
You know
note,
what was you know what's funny though, and I'll chime in on this real quick, is that I think I would be a terrible girl dad, because I would just tell you in that instance, I would tell your daughter to go kick his butt. Like, just be like, just go
try not.
like, just give him a swift kick in the shins, like,
I've never
just
been
let him
one
know.
to support physical violence for anything. I'm like, as nutty as I am, I'm kind of a pacifist when it comes to like, I don't like watch the UFC. Like, I don't do any of that. I don't watch wrestling. I just don't like that. I'm like I said, I'm kind of a
No, man,
pacifist.
down with the patriarchy. As a member of the patriarchy, down with the patriarchy.
I,
Just absolutely just wreck and destroy.
yeah, it's just I'm like, you know what? Let's give peace a chance. I sound like John Lennon over here.
Peace, love, and chicken grease
Yeah,
is
yeah.
something a buddy of mine says. He goes, peace, love, and chicken grease. That's, I'm like, I could get behind all those platforms actually, because if there's chicken grease, there's probably chicken wings somewhere in the equation.
If I'm John Lennon, does that mean I can say my wife sings like Yoko Ono? In big
Let me
All
get
I
my
trouble.
can
phone
think of,
out
I
real
am
quick.
in big
all I
trouble
could,
now. See, on
all
my
I can
other
think of
show,
is
I can
that
get
Howard
away with
Stern.
jokes like this because I know those won't make it back to her as quickly. I'm screwed because as soon as this is done, she's gonna have a text message popping on her phone. Your husband called you sing like Yoko Ono.
All I can think of is that Howard Stern soundbite where they play about Yoko Ono singing and just like nonsensically yodeling in the background, like,
She was on Letterman years ago. This is like one of his last years, and she performed with I forget who, some big band, and the whole time she's like, doing her usual screaming shtick that she does, and it ends, and everybody's like, kind of like, uh, I okay. And
yes,
so Letterman, in his typical sense, just comes walking over there slowly and he goes, man, I love when I can come out of after hearing music, coming out of there and sing the melody. Just like cracks his joke. It's like Yoko Ono, everybody.
oh my God,
Pete Rose has died.
what?
Breaking news, Pete Rose has died.
Play the music.
Are you sure?
ABC
Is
News
it a
said so.
hoax? Is it a hoax?
ABC News is reporting that Pete Rose has died.
Oh yeah,
83 years old.
iHeartRadio confirms it.
Medical examiner in Clark County confirmed to ABC News. Yeah. I met
Oh
Pete Rose in
man.
Las Vegas one time. That was weird.
I still think it's kind of crappy that in this day and age, nothing against any of our potential sponsors, that we're talking about sports booking and dude's not even
Like,
in the Hall of Fame anymore.
it's like you can't
What are we doing?
put him in as a player. If you don't want him involved in the league otherwise, and you don't want him in the management or involved, well, I mean, he died, but like before that, it's like if you don't want him involved today, fine. But like you can't just ignore what he did as a player. And that's what they've done.
Yeah, that's
And now that he's passed away, they're gonna end up putting him in the Hall of Fame. Like, well, we should have done this years ago, and like you did, you had the chance to,
yeah, that doesn't
and you
make it right
didn't.
now.
No, I mean it's the same thing that happened to Ron Santo with the Cubs. The guy won like 8 Gold Gloves as a third baseman, and was he was like the guy who protected Ernie Banks in the lineup. And it's like, okay, so he wasn't a 300 hitter. I mean, he was like a 280, 285 hitter, but it's
Still
like
pretty dang
this
good.
guy, his job was to protect Ernie Banks in the lineup. And, he kept missing out in the Hall of Fame year after year. And then he dies. And then, like, a year or two later, the Veterans Committee's like, all right, let's put him in now. It's like, you couldn't have done that in the 40 years he had retired before he passed away. Like,
Give him
come
his moment. Give him his flowers. Like,
on. Anyway, I'm all worked up now about that. But Pete
all
Rose
right.
passed away at the age of 83. So, yeah.
Dang, it stinks.
But yes, I met him in a casino. Caesar's Palace Sportsbook.
That just took away all of the momentum from the conversation that we just had. Yeah, I met him in a sports book.
I was up at the counter. I was placing my bet. My friend's like, slowly look over your left shoulder, and I just kind of like, I go, oh my god.
Did he tell you he had a hunch? She's like, go for the Browns. Go for the over.
And I go, oh my god, that's Pete Rose. And he goes, yeah, that's Pete Rose. And he was wearing a suit and a Reds ball cap, and he had the little 14 lapel pin that he would wear a lot on his suit jacket. And he was sitting over at Caesar's Palace. It's like this rounded area, and they've got like tables. And then on the left side, like, you know, they have all the sports book, and on the left side is where all the ponies are. And he was sitting over there, like looking like he was watching the ponies. And he just kept glancing over. And I know what you're doing. And I'm like, that was Pete Rose. So we walk out, and there's a sports memorabilia shop in the mall at Caesars, or there was, maybe it's still there. I don't know. But there's a big sign up, meet Pete Rose here today. I'm like, okay, yeah, that was Pete Rose.
Yeah, it definitely was Pete Rose.
But Pete Rose passed away at 83. On that note, thank you again, everybody, for tuning into our mid-year review several months late and getting things back together. Thank you again for tuning into our weekly broadcasts. Yeah, we just had one. This is going to air on Thursday, by the way. So
sweet.
We've got a couple more. I think we got about 5 more live broadcasts left scheduled for this year before we're going to wrap it up at the end of October for the year. Because once Thanksgiving comes around, can't get anybody to commit to anything.
No work.
And yeah, so we take Thanksgiving off, November, December off, and we'll be back up in January. And, probably see you again for our year in review show that we'll publish on New Year's Day. And Kate, you can't skip it this time. I don't want to hear this. I don't have a voice.
Don't care how hungover you are.
Hopefully, so far this year has been a hell of a lot better than last year. So
I mean, the reason the show fell off the way it did is because you had a string of bad luck that I would wish on nobody.
Yeah, last year was not my year.
No, and I mean we talked a little bit about it, but I mean you had a car accident, and you had some injuries from that accident that took what? I mean, have you fully recovered from that yet?
No, I still can't walk for long periods of time. It really sucks.
Would you like me to buy you a walker, or at least a cane?
Absolutely not. I am too stubborn.
Oh, would you like me to buy you tacos?
Yes.
Okay.
How about a cane? How about I got it? I got a cane, but the head is a taco on top of the cane.
How about the cane? How about the walker with a tray of tacos on top of it? The best of both worlds.
I'd probably get in.
My mom, actually, she has a walking cane from a knee problem that she had years ago, and it has like a little dog head. And we'd be in the store, and she'd like hand the cane to me, and there's like a security camera, and I'd take the dog head from the cane and I'd hold it up in the air in front of the security camera.
That's awesome.
The loss prevention guy comes out. He's like, "Could you knock that off, please?" Like,
what kind of dog was it?
One that goes woof woof.
It's like a chocolate lab, I think.
It wasn't like one of those like Egyptian dogs like that you would see like for
no, like it was like a chocolate lab, I think, or some kind of lab.
Was the loss prevention guy like at least laughing when you were doing that? Because that had to have been hilarious. That had to have been hilarious.
It caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting anybody to actually come confront me about it. But yeah, I'm just sitting there like the camera's up above the door of the store, and I'm just in there like.
Did I ever tell you guys, and this will be the last time I'll interject because it'll get us way off track. So I watched the Sesame when it was like the TV 911. We went to
We're losing Ralph.
We're losing him. A friend's house.
Oh no!
Oh no! Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now, but half that story didn't come across.
All right, so it's a story about when I was like 4 years old, 5 years old, maybe something like that. I was watching an episode of Sesame Street where they were teaching the importance of 911. So we went to a friend's house, and I went into his office on his fax machine that I knew had a working phone, and I dialed 911.
Nice.
Because I wanted to stress test it and go, hey, what's the deal? So they were like, naturally, 911, what's your emergency? I freaked out and I hung up. Well, my young brain didn't compute that standard procedure for a 911 call is they have to answer it if it's a hang up.
And they call back.
So police officer
Yeah.
police officer comes to the door of the house, knocks on the door and goes, "Hey, did anybody call 911 here?" And all the adults in there are like, "No." And then it rains like it rings to them. They go, "Ralph, did you call 911?" I was like, "Yes." Yeah. And so then I got the talking to from the police officer about
Oh.
uh don't do that. Da, 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 da. Then it turned into, would you like to see my police car? And I was
Yeah.
like,
See,
yeah.
when you're that young, like, what are they gonna
So
do? Like,
yeah, it was
it's
kind
a
of like,
teachable moment, but then you got to make it,
Fun.
memorable for the kid too,
Yes.
not just
so
scare
that was the why did I talk about that?
I don't
them.
know.
I don't know.
That note.
They had a community day at our like neighborhood park the one day, and they had an officer there and letting the kids sit in the squad car. And they said to one of my kids was sitting in there, and he goes, "Hey," he goes to my daughter, goes, "Push that button right there," and she wouldn't do it.
Did she do the Batman voice too? Like push the button right there.
Oh yeah, he did it was like the Batman voice. He's like, "Hey," he goes, "Push that button right there," and it was the lights and siren, and she wouldn't do it.
Oh my God, that's like your one free pass though.
I'm like, and they just said, "You're gonna regret that when you're older. That you had an officer tell you to turn on his lights and sirens, and you wouldn't do it." I've been like, "I'll do it," but then that would have looked really awkward.
So
Anyway,
random law enforcement thing that real quick, and I know I said that the last one was going to be the thing. Do you guys notice when you hear the sirens and they got the sirens and it's like woo woo woo, then you hear that weird like brrr, that weird
yeah,
like vibrate.
uh,
So I work in law enforcement to a degree. I was there, and that actually emits sound waves so that in the front of the car it'll emit sound waves so people who are like hard of hearing or anything like that, it lets them know
oh,
that that's what that weird noise is that it projects
oh,
sound waves onto the ground. And it's a change in pitch because Americans were so used to hearing the traditional siren noise.
yep.
It's a change of pitch so that you're like, oh, it's actually, and you actually kind of start feeling it when it comes up on you. And you're like, oh, I should
Oh, I
pull
learned
over.
something today.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
thought I was just there to be annoying, get your
Nope.
attention. Well, I guess it is
Nope.
getting your attention, just not
It
Yeah.
the
is,
way I
it's
thought.
meant to get your attention and keep you safe.
Fair enough. So, Kate, glad to see you back recording. This is your first time since like August 2022, I think was the last time you
Oh,
attended a taping.
geez.
But then again, we've only had like two
One
since
show.
then. So,
And it was totally needed to take that break. So
but yeah, well, maybe we'll do this into a quarterly thing or whatever. But it's, we're going to use this as an update. And it's also fun to just kind of kill some time here. So, thanks everybody for tuning in, and look forward to some more information about Rocket League coming out probably at the end of October. We'll have some information about registering your team, and we're looking to have the first matches probably end of January, early February is the plan right now. But we got some work to do, so Kate gets work. Go, go, go.
Get to work. Tacos. Tacos, tacos, tacos.
All right.
Bye.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Arrivederci.